perform a basic end check, we'll start with the handlebars and steering. So clamp the front wheel between your knees and give the handlebars a shake. Then pick up the front wheel and spin it, make sure it's freely spinning and not rubbing on the brakes. Give the tyre a good squeeze, make sure it's nice and solid and hard. Then come round to the brakes. You're going to squeeze both brakes and make sure that the brakes are working and engaging and then disengaging. Then moving down to the pedals, give them a shuggle side to side and a spin, make sure they're spinning freely and the bottom bracket is not loose. Coming back up to the saddle, give it a shake and a swivel, make sure that it's tight and in place and at the correct height. Then pick up the rear wheel, give it a spin again, make sure that again it's freely spinning and not rubbing on the brakes. Check the tyre pressure again. To adjust the height of the saddle to the correct height, we want to get on the bike and have our legs stretched out. The legs should not be straight, but a very slight bend at the knee. However, for some people this may feel a little bit unsteady and a little bit high, being unable to comfortably put both feet on the ground. If that's the case, then you can of course lower the saddle. We do this by popping the lever in the quick release and bringing the saddle down to the new required height and then locking the quick release lever over. You do this and as you grow in confidence you can lift your feet higher. Before you get on your bike, have a good look around, make sure and listen for enemy coming. Put your hands on both brakes, swing your leg over the top and bring your pedal up to the 2 o'clock position. Have another look around, just make sure it's free to go and set off. When preparing to stop, we want to look around and make sure it's safe to do so, then gently squeeze and firmly on both brakes, and then when you come to complete stop, put your foot down and tilt your bike to the side. Okay, if you need to do an emergency stop, you're going to squeeze both brakes firmly and gently at the same time and shift your weight to the rear of the saddle. As a test of balance, we would like you to try to go in 10 metres in a straight line as slowly as possible, using your brakes and your pedals to control your speed. No excessive weaving or wobbling around. If you do feel unsteady, then feel free to just put your feet down. The game here is to try to do 10 metres in the slowest possible time. Aim for around 30 seconds. To test your steering and try going in and out of some markers on the ground, you can use chalk or cones or whatever you have. We've spaced these ones out at 2 metres, coming to our main hub and then coming back the way. To make this harder for yourself, you can reduce the size of the gap between the cones. A slightly more difficult steering test is the snake. Here we've used playground chalk to draw a snake. It starts off wide and gets narrower towards the other end. Your task is to try and keep your wheels of your bike within the snake the whole time. A harder steering challenge is the 5 circles. Here we have a large circle in the middle made from cones and 4 smaller circles drawn out with chalk. We go round the large circle in a clockwise direction and the 4 smaller circles in an anti-clockwise direction. When on your bike, you should be comfortable being able to look around without losing control of the direction of your bike. Practice this by looking over your shoulder either side and scanning and keeping the bike in a straight line. Using a partner, you can ask them to hold up different coloured items for you to look over your shoulder and shout out the colour that you see. Being able to take your hand off the handlebar is a very useful skill without losing control. Practice this by tapping on the handlebar as you're cycling along. Once you've done that, see if you can hold your hand up for slightly longer. Count out 3 seconds and then swap hands. Now see how far you can actually travel with one hand on its own. Go for 5 seconds and build up. Being able to ride with one hand is very useful. We can use it to drink, close zips, or adjust helmet straps for any reason.